The power of positive thinking. In a small town, there was a boy named Jake. Jake loved to play soccer with his friends and always dreamed of becoming a great soccer player. However, he often doubted himself. Every time he missed a goal or made a mistake, he would think, "I'm not good enough, or I'll never be as good as the other players." One day, after a tough soccer game where Jake's team lost, he sat on the field feeling upset. His coach, Mr. Thompson, noticed Jake's sadness and came over to sit beside him. "Jake, why are you so down?" Mr. Thompson asked kindly. Jake looked at the ground and sighed. "I made too many mistakes. I'm just not good enough. I keep thinking that I'll never be a great player." Mr. Thompson smiled and shook his head. "Jake, you're a talented player. But do you know what's holding you back? It's not your skills. It's your mind." Jake looked confused. "My mind?" Mr. Thompson nodded. "Yes, you see, when you think negative thoughts like 'I'm not good enough,' your mind starts to believe it. And when you believe it, you stop trying your best. That's why positive thinking is so important." Jake was curious. Positive thinking? How can that help? Mr. Thompson explained, "Positive thinking is about focusing on what you can do, not what you can't. When you think positively, you believe in yourself, and that belief makes you stronger. Doesn't mean you'll always win, but it helps you keep trying, even when things are hard." Jake listened carefully, feeling a little better. "So, if I think positive thoughts, I'll play better." "It's more than that," Mr. Thompson said. "Positive thinking helps you in everything you do, not just soccer. It helps you stay focused, calm, and determined. But it takes practice. You have to change the way you talk to yourself." Jake decided to give it a try. That night, before going to bed, he thought about the good things he had done during the game. He remembered the times he passed the ball well and the moments when he ran fast. Instead of thinking about his mistakes, he told himself, "I'm improving. I can get better." The next morning, Jake woke up feeling different. He was excited to go to soccer practice, and this time, he was ready to think positively. As he practiced, he repeated encouraging thoughts in his mind. "I can do this. I'm getting stronger. And every day, I'm improving." At first, it wasn't easy. When he made a mistake, the old negative thoughts tried to come back. But Jake remembered what Mr. Thompson had said. He took a deep breath and told himself, "It's okay. I'll do better next time." Over the next few weeks, Jake noticed a big change. He wasn't afraid of making mistakes anymore. He felt more confident, and even when things didn't go perfectly, he stayed positive. His teammates also saw the difference and started cheering him on. One day, during an important match, Jake's team was losing by 1 point. There were only a few minutes left in the game. Jake felt the pressure, but instead of panicking, he reminded himself, "Stay calm, stay positive. You can do this." With his positive mindset, Jake focused on the game. When the ball came to him, he controlled it with ease and passed it to a teammate. In the final moments of the game, Jake had the chance to score. He took a deep breath, thought, "I can do this," and kicked the ball. The crowd cheered as the ball flew into the net. Jake had scored the winning goal. His teammates rushed to him, shouting in excitement. After the game, Mr. Thompson patted Jake on the back and said, "See what positive thinking can do. You believed in yourself, and that made all the difference." Jake smiled proudly. He had learned a valuable lesson. When you think positively, you can face any challenge, both on and off the field. But Jake's journey with positive thinking was just beginning. There were still more challenges ahead. Would he continue to stay positive when life got tough? Weeks passed, and Jake continued to practice positive thinking. His soccer skills improved, and he felt more confident on the field. But soon, a new challenge came into Jake's life, one that wasn't related to soccer. At school, Jake struggled with math. No matter how hard he tried, he found it difficult to solve problems. His grades started to fall, and he felt the same frustration that he had once felt on the soccer field. One afternoon, after getting a low score on his math test, Jake sat at his desk, staring at the paper. He felt defeated. "I'll never be good at math," he thought. "It's just too hard." Mr. Thompson's words about positive thinking echoed in his mind. But this time, it felt different. Soccer was one thing, but math— how could he think positively about something that seemed impossible? That evening, Jake told his mom about his struggles. "I can't do it, Mom. I'm just not smart enough for math," he said sadly. His mom smiled gently and replied, "Jake, do you remember how you felt when soccer was hard? You thought you couldn't do it, but then you changed the way you thought. You became more positive, and now look at you, you're a great soccer player. Why not try the same with math?" Jake wasn't sure, but soccer is different. "Math is ... just not for me." His mom shook her head. "Positive thinking isn't just for sports, Jake. It's for everything in life. When you believe you can improve, you give yourself the chance to try harder. You don't have to be perfect, but if you stay positive, you'll keep learning." Jake thought about it. He knew his mom was right. If positive thinking worked for soccer, why not give it a try with math? The next day, Jake approached math class with a new attitude. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," he told himself, "I'm learning. It's okay to make mistakes. I'll get better with time." Whenever he faced a difficult problem, he reminded himself, "I don't have to solve it right away. I can take my..." At first, it was still hard. Some problems were confusing, and sometimes Jake wanted to give up. But each time that negative voice crept in, Jake fought back with a positive thought. "I can learn this. I just need to keep trying." Slowly but surely, Jake started to improve. His teacher noticed his efforts and offered extra help. His friends also encouraged him, and together they practiced after school. Jake's grades began to rise, and with each small success, he felt more confident. One day, during a big math test, Jake looked at the first problem. It was difficult, and for a moment, he felt that old feeling of doubt. But instead of giving in, he took a deep breath and told himself, "I can do this. I've practiced. I'm ready." Jake worked through the test, staying calm and focused. When he finished, he felt proud of how far he had come. A few days later, his teacher handed back the graded tests. Jake couldn't believe his eyes he had earned a high score. It wasn't perfect, but it was much better than he had expected. Jake smiled to himself. He had faced another challenge, and with positive thinking, he had overcome it. Just like in soccer, he had learned that believing in himself made all the difference. Later that day, Jake met Mr. Thompson on the soccer field. He told him about his math success and how positive thinking had helped him again. Mr. Thompson smiled and said, "Jake, I'm proud of you. Positive thinking isn't just about winning games or passing tests. It's about believing in yourself, even when things are hard. It's a skill you'll use for the rest of your life." Jake nodded. He now understood that positive thinking wasn't just for sports or school. It was a way to face every challenge in life. From that day on, whenever Jake faced something difficult, whether in soccer, school, or life, he reminded himself, "I can do this. I'll stay positive and keep trying." And with that mindset, there was nothing Jake couldn't achieve. This story shows us that positive thinking is powerful. It can help us in every part of life, whether it's playing a sport, studying for school, or facing any challenge. Stay positive and you'll find the strength to succeed.